Greetings to all. A pleasant good morning to all our viewers here. Now, this is not our regular time in for Caribbean American News Media Platform, but we appreciate you being here with us on such a short notice. We're following some developments that we need some clarity on, and that is the CIP gates, and also there seems to be some developing issues there in Martinique at the consulate there that represents St. Lucia. And so we are following these two new developments in the country, and we're hoping that we can get some answers to these many questions that are of concern to us. Those of you on the platform, please share the live. Matter of fact, we're going to open our phone lines right now to facilitate calls from you, our listeners, our viewers. We need to get to the bottom of what in the world is going on here. Now, last night we saw an interview with Mr. Martinez with Lisa Joseph of DBS News. That's again on the island of St. Lucia, for those of you who are not St. Lucians and are following this broadcast. And so last night we got some revelation that left us with even more questions than answers. One, we're finding out that it is alleged from Mr. Martinez in an interview last night, who showed some evidence through emails that the government of St. Lucia, that they are very much aware of this whole CIP gates, and that they have been through their lawyers in communication with Mr. Martinez at the point of negotiations. It's alleged that an offer, a call was made, or communications was sent to Mr. Martinez and his team in trying to find out what would it take in order to let this thing go away, to let it disappear. And based on what we're hearing is that Martinez team said 9 million, and the government of St. Lucia, well, that's too much. And there seems to have been some sort of negotiations there by the what we would consider to be the Prime Minister of St. Lucia through the lawyers that represent Mr. Emmanuel of the CIP. Now, all this is alleged stuff that we're hearing, and in some instance, we saw communications that was shown through the media. We are still working on confirmation. We have not received the actual email on hand as yet. We're still waiting for that to come over to us here on our news desk. But we are following these breaking developments there in St. Lucia, and not only St. Lucia, here in the United States, and also St. Kitts concerning the CIP folks, the Prime Minister. We remember the government of St. Lucia through the Prime Minister and Mr. Hilaire indicates that there is nothing going on, that everything is in place. And the noise that you were hearing was from the opposition leader, Mr. Chasney, and the United Workers' Party. Remember, the United Workers' Party was accused of joining with a fraudster in order to disturb a good thing that is happening in the country. And now we're hearing that that there might have been talks with Mr. Martinez's team by these same players. And this breaking news, folks, have now this whole CIP discussion has now shift into a different gear. Now we are looking at the possibility of a government, a prime minister misleading the citizens, and also the minister who is also responsible for the CIP. And now it gets worse for the citizens of the country, my people. And this is no longer about United Workers' Party, or it was never about United Workers' Party. and SLP. This is now about the people of St. Lucia. It is now the people of St. Lucia. So again, the news here is that one, it appears as though the government of St. Lucia have been misleading the citizens of the country, and we hope that we can get some clarity as soon as possible from our government. And we are not even sure whether we can trust anything but had evidence from the government of St. Lucia, and we would love for the government to say to us that no, we have never tried to negotiate anything with Mr. Martinez. That's a lie. We are hoping that that's the case. If that's not the case, friends, you are looking at some major developments in your political landscape, which means one, that the government of St. Lucia, if what Mr. Martinez is saying, and if what the lawyers of Mr. Martinez are saying took place, that there were secret negotiations going on between both parties, then the people of St. Lucia will have to make a decision on their government, whether they can trust their government in what the government is saying to them. Because remember, it was all about Mr. Shastney and the UWP trying to, and a fraudster, everybody trying to stain and messed up the good CIP program. But now, folks, what the other thing that the other news here is that one, the government is not confirming the amount of passports issued to files issued to Galaxy, and two, folks, the government need to confirm to us that they are in communication with Galaxy. I'm going to repeat that. The government of St. Lucia need to confirm now that they are in communications with Galaxy and they know exactly where Galaxy is, where they are with the project, and that everything is going as planned with the Galaxy company there in St. Lucia. So it gets worse as the moment goes by. There's a lot more questions, and I would beg that if you're a hack and you're trying to get mileage or you're trying to insult anyone, I would suggest to you that this is not the time for insults. It is time for us to take a step back. Take a step back and let us look carefully at these information. Now, as we speak, we understand that Mr. Shastney, the opposition leader, is en route to Washington, D.C. in order to have a first-hand look at these new developments that we're hearing here. So we will be keeping our eyes open on the opposition and statements that will be coming out from him based on his trip there to Washington. But folks, last night a lot was said that we never knew before. And based on what, as I said, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia was saying to us, the people, it is that he don't deal with Fruster. He don't talk to Fruster. He have nothing to do with the guy. The government of St. Lucia has nothing to do with him. And is not, our hands are clean. We're not involved with the guy. Just recently, the Prime Minister said that. And if we find out as a people that what we're hearing here is the truth, then we have some questions to ask ourselves as a nation going forward, whether we can trust our leaders, our politicians in what they're saying to us. So the big concern here now is that what is going on? What in the world, folks, is going on there with the CIP program? And we know that there are a lot of questions just with the administrative part of the CIP office. We heard this person resign, another one resign. No, they did not resign. Yes, they resign. And there are some hard copies out there to say otherwise. I'm not at liberty to break those information here. But what I can say to you, friends, that there seems to be some darkness that is covering the office, and lack of transparency with the leadership of that CIP office. And as we continue with our investigations, we got to all agree, friends, that this is not good. It's not looking good when it comes to transparency and accountability. And the citizens, there's a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions coming out of last night's interview with Mr. Martinez. And now I would say it is not about Martinez, Mr. Philip Martinez. For us now, it is about our government, the patrimony of the people. What is the truth? What is the truth? Very confusing. What is the truth? What should we believe? What should we believe? So far, we have seen some communications from Mr. Martinez. From the government side, we have heard they have been denying, they have been deflecting, they have been accusing the Alan Chastney UWP party as, joining with the fraudster in order to siphon money from St. Lucia. And in the interview, we found out that the MSR media, they are not seeking money from the government of St. Lucia, but they are seeking funds from the individuals who they alleged have defrauded the people of St. Lucia. Now, let me just say something about class action lawsuit. Here in the United States, there are a lot of different class action lawsuits. I've been involved in a number of them. And the payout, yes, it's normally small in this country because you're dealing with millions of people in one class action lawsuit. And so you got to divide that money between all the individuals who have signed up in a class action lawsuit. In St. Lucia, you do not have millions of people. In St. Lucia, you don't. Which means that if you sign on to a class action lawsuit against the players involved, then the possibility is there that you can get a bigger payout as a citizen. The government do not have to get involved. You as a local citizen can sign on to a class action lawsuit and say, look, I want to be part of this. I feel that I was damaged by the actions of these organizations or these individuals. And it would be heard in a court, and then not just a settlement, but a verdict would have been reached as to the amount of monies that the judge or the court would deem fit in the matter. And that monies would be spread. If there's 2,000 of you, it will be spread, one, legal fees, and then it will be spread around to those who signed on to the class action lawsuit. So I'm going to tell you folks, if you want to join a class action lawsuit because you're not getting the truth, everything is all over the place. If you're going to sign on, there is nothing to lose. It takes a little while, but at the end, your name would have been on that class action. So let's say, because your country is small, you don't have 1 million individuals joining into any class action lawsuit, the possibility is there that the payout would be higher than what we would get here in the United States. And like I indicate to you folks, I've been involved in a number of class action lawsuits, whether it's against FedEx or against T-Mobile or Verizon or whoever it is. I have signed on. Once they come, and what they would do once you're a customer, the lawyers would send invitations to you in the mail to join the lawsuit. I've gotten small monies from Bank of America through class action lawsuit for what they call the overcharging of individuals for overdrafts and different stuff. And I have gotten money as a result of that from class action lawsuit. All I do is sign on the dotted line and give the lawyers the green light to move forward, put me in. And I sit back and allow that process to go through. I have nothing to say, nothing to get involved in, just a signature, and then it's gone. So it is not as complicated as you would think, but it is something that a lot of people might be reasoning now about. You have 5 of you in a family, 5 of you can sign on, to hold these individuals, and maybe it's time, and maybe that need to happen with some of your cable companies in the country. Maybe you guys need to start having class action lawsuits against your cell phone companies who say to you that they're giving you a certain amount of internet and you get nothing, or they interrupt the service ever so often. Maybe it's time for you to hold these people accountable, the banks, even in your country. Maybe it's time for people to be held accountable. Maybe that's why everything is everything in your country. Maybe it's time for someone to stand up against the passport office or the government of St. Lucia. Maybe it's time for the people to hold their government and companies responsible and accountable for what they say to you, or what they promise you and what they don't give you. Maybe that's a problem in the nation. But let's go back to the whole what I would say CIP gates in your country. And remember, the phone lines are open at 929-586-1821. Anyone who wants to share your feelings after last night, what do you think? Any questions, you can call. You can call in. And by the way, in St. Kitts and Nevis, there is something developing there as we speak. Those 2 press conferences should be on now. They have the opposition and government. Those 2 individuals are having press conferences in St. Kitts and Nevis at the same time. 10 o'clock, 10:30. What is going on? What is going on in our region, friends? What is going on? And as I said to you, friends, maybe it is time for individuals to sign on to class action lawsuits and hold people accountable, hold systems accountable. Where is your hospital? And I said it, whether it's your phone company, whatever it is, your utility company, maybe it's time for you to start getting the services and stuff that you deserve as citizens of the country. And the passport drama, friends, continue to get worse as far as I am concerned. Now we're hearing that the Prime Minister is very much aware, and is very much involved in what is happening, because a lawyer cannot say, well, the Prime Minister wants to know, and the Prime Minister really don't want to know. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to follow the hard facts, and it is always wise, friends, in matters like these, to listen to both sides. Listen to both sides and weigh things in the balance. So you have the government, like I said earlier, saying to you, no, we don't care about this. This has nothing to do with us. This is a fraudster, and it has nothing to do with me as a Prime Minister. I'm not involved in anything. I don't know anything that is going on. The thing is in the court. Let it work out in the court. But yet outside of the court, we are hearing that there were negotiations going on. And then what got it a little confusing is that Mr. Hilaire and Mr. Frederick went on to that platform and said to you folks that nonsense, let them take me to court. Nothing is happening here. I don't want to talk to him and all this, but yet you're talking to him. And look, he tried to call me, and and yeah, I don't want to talk to him, and that's the propaganda that comes out of our government. And you know what happens with propaganda? The people are stuck in the center of confusion. And they look at Mr. Martinez as, I don't believe what he's saying. They look at the government. Well, it depends on what party you're in, and they say, yeah. I believe Philip Jipe. I believe this one. I believe Ernest, and I believe Richard, and I believe. But then there's a process in this whole CIP gates, and that is the court. Not only any court, but a United States federal court. Here in the United States is not like your country. The evidence will be made available. Well, in your country, you still get evidence when they are filed. You go online and you can see what's going on in the courts. I look at the courts and I look at a lot of cases there in your country. But here, there is no give me 100,000 and I throw the case out. Or I muddy up the water and cause the case to delay. No, this is different, friends. And I suspect that the reason why you are not getting a lot more evidence and proof that you need, concrete proof, it is because there's a process, a legal process in the courts, and that you will have to wait until it is filed in the courts, and then you'll be able to read for yourselves who is saying what and when, and all the parties that are involved in the who say and when they said it. And that's what you wait for. But the whole idea, friends, is for you as a people to brace yourself. And that's the least I can say to you. Brace yourself. Because it would appear, folks, and I'm using my words carefully, it would appear to me that somebody is misleading the citizens of St. Lucia. Somebody is. And I want to say something to the government of St. Lucia in the interest of transparency and good governance. Mr. Prime Minister, I think it's time for you to tell us what is really going on, because I suspect that something is going on and you're hoping that time will take care of what is going on. I don't know if you realize by now that with all the attack on Mr. Martinez, you are angering him. You are pushing him. You are daring him. And while he's restricted, I suspect, because of the legal case, every opportunity he gets and every green light he gets to drop or to put out something that you were saying differently, I believe he's going to do it. It is in your interest as a government to stand on truth, rewind, pull back, start over again and tell us the truth. What in the world is going on at the passport office? We no longer want to hear Chasney and the UWP. They are not in government. We want to know as a people what in the world is happening at the CIP office. What is happening at the Canals Resort? What is happening with Galaxy? Are you in communication with Galaxy still? Do you know where they are? Is everything okay with the project? Is there anything else you want to say to us that you believe might pop up later on? We got to defend the integrity of our government. You, as the head of the government, got to help to safeguard the minds of the people towards the government of the nation. You got to help. And I would say to you, step back, Mr. Prime Minister. It is within you. Step back Come back again. Put away all the games and the laughter and the clown show. And tell us the truth about what is happening at the CIP office. Tell us the truth with what is happening with Mr. Martinez and you. Are you guys in communications through lawyers? Were they attempt to negotiate and to get this thing out of the news? Did you, Mr. Prime Minister, did you indicate to any legal representative of yours or Mr. Emmanuel or anyone else who is involved? Did you say to them, sir, that you want this to go away? Question again for you, Mr. Prime Minister. The buck stops with you. You cannot tell us that you don't know. We will not take that for an answer. You must know. You have a phone on your desk. You have emails. And you have permanent secretaries and other folks. And you have attorney general and special prosecutor and police investigators. You have all that at your disposal. You can no longer say to the people, you don't know. I am asking you, sir, to know and tell us so that we can know the truth. You, sir, the buck stops with you. You are the finance minister. You would know every dollar that goes on in CIP, in and out. You're a finance minister. You would know every debt that the country owes. Yes, sir. That's your role. And we are not going to accept the same response to crime that you are not a policeman, that your father is, and you don't know you allow people to do their job. It appears to me that that type of leadership style will not work in governing a stiff-necked people. It appeared to me that you want to have a more hands-on approach when it comes to your government, your ministry, because it seems that you do not know anything at all that takes place in your country. You told us, and Mr. Hilaire, if I can remember properly, that you did not know that Mr. McLeod went over to Washington. We have those stuff, I believe, in our base here. You said it. Mr. Hilaire's statement to the nation, addressed to the nation, is here in our base. So you got to be very careful going forward in what you say to us, the people, because we are waiting to play back those tapes. You might want to play them back first before you respond to us, the people. But this time, the time has come. This is the moment where we will no longer accept bullying in our government. It is okay for your hacks to go on with their nastiness. But from the government point of view, you got to clean it up, Mr. Prime Minister. No more ministers insulting anyone. No more ministers exposing people's private document. That will not be tolerated anymore. It will not be encouraged. It will not be tolerated by the citizens of this country. Tell us the truth. What amount of money, if any, are you willing to pay to get this out of the way? What amount is enough? Is 9 million too much? What were you looking at? If you were looking at any, The citizens need to know that there is or were a negotiating team negotiating on behalf of the CIP staffs who were fingered or about to be fingered in this whole CIP gates. Tell us the truth. That's the only way it's going to go away. If we know the truth, Mr. Prime Minister, it gets worse. If we find out the truth, and if we find out that the truth is with Mr. Martinez and not with you, the government of St. Lucia, we did not elect Mr. Martinez. We elected you. Therefore, we can hold you accountable as a nation. I am also going to call on, right here and right now, and while I'm hearing who you think you are, you will find out. I am asking the Attorney General, the Integrity Commission, I'm calling on this special prosecutor to wake up and do your job. Where there is smoke, I suspect that there is fire. So I am saying those agencies of government, watchdog organizations, need to step up, step out, and get the ball rolling. The CIP gates should have already been a subject of investigations by the law enforcement in the nation. There's a process, there are processes. Must be followed. So I'm calling on the Prime Minister. You have said a lot to us. And a lot that you have said to us does not mean a lot to us at this time. After last night, we have more questions than answers. After last night, I would declare that the CIP is in a state of confusion, and I would go as far as saying a state of emergency. And I'm not here speaking as UWP or SLP. I am here confused and need you to help thou my confusion by speaking to us directly, outside of all the noise, the insult. And by the way, let me just say to Lisa, Joseph, and the DBS people, and first to DBS. DBS, you need to put out a statement of warning. Don't allow any government official or any supporter of the government to intimidate you, to threaten you, or to insult you. Don't ignore it. DBS needs to put out a legal notice. One, standing by their reporter, Lisa Joseph. And two, discouraging anyone from attempting to besmirch her, to bring harm to her. It is time for us to get the nation back on track with decency. So DBS, I'm calling you to put out a notice. Stand with your reporter. Is either you're standing with her or you're not standing with her. And if you're standing with her, you need to put out an official legal notice warning your government or anyone else in the country. Protect that girl. Get that notice of warning out. For me, Lisa Joseph is a good woman who loves her country. And she's doing what is necessary, what is needed. A fair and balanced press is important to the democracy of any nation. And Lisa, she's doing her job. She was accused by a government minister of threatening CIP staff, terrorizing them. When she confronted the government minister, he said, you're not, no, okay, that's what they say. And it was left alone. DBS did not say anything in her defense. The government of St. Lucia did not apologize to Lisa or to DBS. The rest of the press, they're in a coma. None of them came out to stand in solidarity with their colleague. A matter of fact, when she is being insulted, the press laughs and giggles. That is a weak press. When one of yours is being attacked, or when one of you are being threatened, all of you are being threatened. And so I say, you who are in the press, grow up, understand your job, and do your job. Follow Lisa and do your job. Don't giggle. Don't laugh. Don't act like a schmuck. Follow up on the question. Wait for the answer. Press for the answer. Don't be sidebarred. So it's time for the country to be cleaned up, the institutions, whether it's check and balances or the government itself. It is time for you St. Lucians to say, time for this to stop. No more. Let's have a well-oiled country running here and not a banana republic. So I call on DBS to stand stronger with your girl. Don't tell her behind the scenes, yeah, we have you, we have your back, go, go, go. No, you publicly defend that girl. The government is still owing you, DBS, and Lisa, an apology. And while many will say, well, he didn't call her name on the radio, blah, blah, blah. When he came out, he confirmed who he was talking to about. Yes, he did. He confirmed. And if he did not confirm it, he was speaking to all the press then. Therefore, all the press need an apology. Until somebody stands up, the entire democracy is in danger. And only in dictatorship countries, communist countries, you get this type of behavior where your citizens are being threatened. And I hear every time you hear those fellas now, it is about threats, lawsuits, take you to court. They're not answering the questions. And maybe they need to take some people to court so that the people can get the answers in court. Maybe that's the only way you will get the truth from them, when they have to defend what you are saying in a court of law. Maybe that's the only way you will get the truth. So I challenge them. Take Mr. Martinez on his offer, not a financial offer. Go into the courts and defend yourself. Bring your facts. It is the only way we the people will see the facts. I dare you. I dare you. Let it go to court. But it's sad, no matter how you turn it. And one day, either party will flip the script. And whatever you say here as United Workers' Party, you be ready when the tables switch or turn that you can deal the same way. Yes, I said it. Don't put out propaganda, lies, and mischief. And when the script flips, then you cry foul. Whatever you put out, be ready to deal. And whether you say Kenny couldn't deal with crime and you will deal with it, you be ready to deal with it. Whether you say that there's a broken healthcare system, you be ready to deal with it when you are in government. But you must be willing, when you speak in opposition, you must be able to show some action or different. You must be able to take a different path when you get into government. It is time for us to clean up the political arena. It is time for us to retire some dinosaurs and get younger folks to come in who have not been stained and damaged by themselves to lead this country. It is time for men of vision, men of dignity, class, with moral standing. It is time for men who have not abused their wives, men who have not gotten their hands stuck in cookie jars, men who have self-control and discipline. It is time for us to bring that into government. It is time for us to bring back praying men and women to lead this nation. What we have presently need to be retired and stay in retirement, because it is the same accusations over and over and over again. Same accusations over and over and over again, whether it's crooked business dealings, shady business dealings, under the table deals, crooked dealings. When somebody said to me that you talk too much, and another one comes to me and say, you talk too much, and then I go somewhere else and the person said to me, you talk too much, then I want to start listening to them, because all of these individuals might not have gotten it wrong. They might be seeing something in me. All of them. And maybe I need to check myself. But St. Lucia, I'm saying that it is time to bring back civility into our discussion. And let me just share this with you, what I saw while you were here. I saw an SLP supporter defending and in their attempt to defend insulting women, cursing all the F notes and the different notes. And then I look and I saw some of the same supporters under those lives that are cheering these people on the Our Live, telling us that we are Christians and we should act different. But not one of them would stand up publicly and say to those actors, bad actors, stop, not necessary. Respect women. There's not a lot that a woman can do to you that you have to go out of your way to insult and humiliate her. Folks, I've had a lot of challenges with women, not in relationships. And I've never once gotten myself to a place where I can look at that woman and insult her body or insult her on a whole. Can't get myself there. And there's nothing that she can do as the weaker vessel to have me to shame her. Just bear with me, folks. Yes, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I get those calls ever so often. But I was speaking about women. No woman, no matter how bad you think she is or are, deserve to be dragged by a man. And no man who is in his rightful mind and spirit would be comfortable speaking about a woman the way I see some of the SLP supporters are dragging Lisa or attempting to drag a decent woman, professional woman, in the mud. Yeah. There is a breaking news development that is coming out of Martinique. There seems to be a problem there in Martinique, and I'm sure by God's willing, Monday we will have a statement on that, a story on that. We're following it now. It is something that is alleged, and we're going to follow it. Lack of services down there. There's a host of alleged stuff at that embassy in Martinique, and as I said to you, friends, we got to clean up our government. I remember Dr. Fletcher was responsible for diaspora affairs, ambassador of ambassadors, and there was some resemblance of normalcy and proper leadership in the diaspora. And I don't think we were hearing all these type of stuff that we're hearing now at our embassies. And maybe it's time for us to also look at these embassies and see how we can fix them, how we can improve on the services that are offered to citizens who are in the diaspora, whether it's Martinique, in the United States, Canada, or England. Maybe we need to have a look at that, and whether we need to cut staff, improve on the staff, space, and whatever it is, we got to do what we got to do in order to have a clean and a lean diaspora affairs. We really got to see what we can do there. But folks, the news is that it is alleged that the Prime Minister is aware of the whole CIP gates with Mr. Martinez, and lawyers are mentioning his name as wanting to bring an end through any legal means to this matter. And so we will wait. I know there's a host of the programs on now. Guy Joseph is on Sky FM, and also Timothy will be on a little shortly. So we're going to disconnect the live, folks, and we're going to be asking you to just stay tuned as the day go by. I am following also what is happening over there in St. Kitts and Nevis right now. There seems to be something rumbling up there. So, folks, you have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay positive, stay safe, friends, and may God bless you as we pray for our country, as we pray for the nation of St. Lucia, as we pray for the world on a whole. But I pray specifically for St. Lucia and this whole new development that we're hearing here. So blessings, and look forward to seeing you again when we turn our system on, maybe a little later on. All right, blessings, folks.